Hey guys, thanks for joining me. We are back again at Dogo Argentino USA. In today's topic, we are going to talk about exercising your Dogo Argentino. So if you want to know some tips, some tricks, some things that you can use to stimulate and wear out your Dogo mentally, stay tuned because we're going to get into it. Now, if you haven't been here before, welcome. This is the channel where we chat Dogos. And if you really want to help me out, if you want more educational videos, if you want more videos of every type, please give me a like, a comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. That turns on the algorithm for me, and that lets more interested people see my content. So let's get right into it. So a lot of people are wondering, how do I exercise my Dogo Argentino? How do I keep them stimulated? It is a hunting dog, very popular in Texas and other places in the United States where feral hogging is a problem. But let's say you've got a family dog and he is not necessarily a hunter. You're going to have a different set of challenges than somebody who has a Dogo on a working farm where he hunts regularly. So let's get into it. So one of the things that's really important is to understand that exercise is not a one-size-fits-all option with a Dogo Argentino. A lot of the things that I am going to suggest are dependent on the dog having reached maturity skeletally. Why does that matter? If you try to exercise a puppy before its skeleton is fully hardened, before its joints are fully intact, you can actually terribly damage the puppy. And that can have very negative consequences to turning a perfectly healthy Dogo Argentino into a Dogo Argentino with gait problems. So you don't want to hard exercise puppies. They need exercise, but you're not going to do a lot of the things that I suggest. So my suggestions are for mature Dogo Argentinos. That means Dogos that are at least 2 years old. Why 2? Because that's the age at which their skeleton is fully mature. One of the first things I'm going to suggest for your Dogo Argentino, if you're not doing it already, is resistance training. Now, resistance training allows the Dogo to experience a much more intense exercise with the same amount of effort on your part as the owner. So one of the things that you can do is hook up a dog parachute. And what that is a special parachute that you lie out on the ground. It hooks to a special harness on the Dogo. You get the Dogo to run. The parachute will actually fill up with air as the dog runs, creating resistance. And that makes it more difficult for the Dogo, and therefore he is going to burn more calories, or she is going to wear out faster. And that is a great exercise for your Dogo Argentino. And as always, there will be links in the description so that you can think about getting these for your own Dogo Argentino if you think that your Dogo is not getting enough exercise. And couple quick signs your Dogo is not getting enough exercise. Your Dogo seems frustrated. Your Dogo cries and looks at the leashes. Your Dogo is destructive. Your Dogo seems unusually tense, somewhat more aggressive than normal. Those can all be things related to frustration from not getting enough exercise. So number 2, command training. Of course, this presumes your dog knows some commands, but command training does 2 things. It mentally tires out the dog because the dog is having to think about things, but it also should physically tire out the dog. So for example, I like to do place as my command to get a dog to sit in a particular area. And for example, I can have them placed at the top of a set of wooden bleachers, come down and do it again. So they're doing a command, but they're also getting exercise. It's agility because they're using uneven surfaces. It wears them out mentally, and that's a great thing to do. So commands are important to work on, and they can provide exercise for your dog at the same time. So think of creative ways to do this. You're not just wanting your dog to sit over and over on a flat surface. That's not stimulating for them, especially because that's one of the most common commands used in daily life. If you have them sit somewhere unusual that requires a little more work on their part, it's more mentally stimulating for your Dogo Argentino, and that is going to make for a happy dog. A tired Dogo is a happy Dogo. Okay, strength training is not just for humans. Strength training can also benefit your Dogo Argentino. And one of the ways that you can do this on a mature Dogo Argentino is to get a weight vest. Now, a weight vest is similar both in humans and dogs in that it is a vest that you can fill up with weight. Now, it's a little different on a dog in that the dog might do better with the kind that you fill with sand or glass beads or BBs rather than straight plates, but they do make weight plates as well. My concern with weight plate vests is that they create pressure points that are a little more intense than the more form-fitting sand or metal BBs, that kind of thing. So weight vests can be a great way to wear out your dog. So you're going to put your weight vest on your dog, again, links in the description, and then you're going to go for a hike. And you want to start this out at very low levels. Even in a mature dogo, let's say you've got a male, he's a big male, let's say he's an out of standard male and he weighs 120 pounds. Despite that, you're not going to put a 20-pound pack on a dog that's never hiked with weights before because you can cause injury. Just like a human, they need to ramp up their conditioning and their training. So I like to do that over a 4-week period, and I would like to start with low weights, so maybe 2 pounds, and do that for a week and then add another 2 pounds. So the dog's got 4 pounds and so forth until you ramp up to that extra 20 pounds. Dogs are very, very, very strong, much stronger than people. And I do think that they condition a little faster than people, but you still have to do it over time so that you're not creating damage. And if you feel like doing this type of training, it is very important that you are cognizant of the weather. Hot weather is dangerous to overheating and humans and dogs, so don't put a weight vest on your dog if it's 95 degrees with 95% humidity. That is just a recipe for disaster. But strength training is very beneficial to your Dogo Argentino, and I truly encourage you to consider it if your dog is mature and he's not getting enough exercise. Scent training. Scent training does 2 things. It stimulates the mind, it stimulates the body. It is a game. You can get your dogo to do the basics of search and rescue even if you don't have formal search and rescue training, and you can make it self-rewarding. How do you do that? Do it with a special treat. So one of the ways that you can do this is to introduce, just as an example, a hock from, for example, a cow or a bison. My dogs get bison hocks. And if you want to know where I get them, link in the description. Totally not sponsored by them, but I'll tell you where I get my bison hocks if you look down there. Let them smell it, let them chew it so they know what it tastes like. And normally dogs are very, very interested in hocks. There's a lot of good protein. There is a little bit of meat, there's a little bit of tendon. That connective tissue has collagen in it, and it's excellent for their joints, and it's entertaining. Let them smell it, let them mouth it, but don't let them have it for very long. You take that, you're going to tie a string to it, and in the beginning you're going to do a very simple hide. You're not trying to freak the dog out. It's new to this, and anytime they encounter a new problem, it requires mental energy on that part. I want you to very slowly drag it on a string and hide it very simply. So for example, underneath a bucket, maybe 5 feet from the back door, you're going to drag it. And then you're just going to kind of show them with your hand where it is, under the bucket, put the bucket back out. You're literally revealing it to them. And then you let them go. And if they are motivated, they are going to smell and come knock over the bucket and get it. The next time you're not going to show them where you do it, but you're going to show them the hock. You're going to put it in front of you because they don't have object permanence like humans do when they're mature. You put it under the bucket, you let them find it. You can do this in a variety of ways. And one of the good things about doing this is it develops problem solving, and problem solving is very mentally draining for dogs, and it's good exercise. So using scent training like that, and you can eventually get into scent training clubs and do all sorts of things with scent training for search and rescue with your Dogo Argentino. Of course, you guys know that traditional calisthenics are great. You can actually make your dog more or less do sit-ups, and you start out sitting, you make them get down, you start out with the down, then you make them get up, you make them stand, and you just kind of do that over and over, and it becomes kind of similar to a kata or a form in karate. And you can do that with your dog. It's mentally stimulating and it helps wear them out. So if you're wondering how much time you should be spending with your dogo in exercise and mental training, of course, it depends on the dog. Most dogos are fairly high energy compared to other breeds of dogs. In general, a Dogo Argentino is designed, as you know, to hunt puma and boar. They were designed to keep up with men on horseback, hunters on horseback. They were designed to work through very rough bush in Argentina. And so they have very good endurance overall for pure cardio. You can look up videos where people are doing road work with their dog, which is they're basically running beside their Dogo Argentino using an off-road vehicle of some sort, either a motorbike or an ATV or something like that. And those dogs can keep up. They're amazing. I've seen dogs run 25 kilometers an hour. I mean, just tremendously strong. Now, something to bear in mind if you're going to do road work with your dog, you want to make sure that the surface is good. I would not recommend doing that on pavement. It's extremely hard on the joints. But if you've got a field that you have permission, or it's your own field to do road work with, you can absolutely do it. But be aware. In a pack, dogs cross in front of each other all the time. It's part of the natural pack. Normally one will lead, a couple will follow, and that dog will only lead for a certain period of time, maybe a mile, maybe less. And then another dog will take over. That dog will drop to the back, and that's how they cycle and move forward when they're hunting. So be aware that them running in front of you, darting in front of you, is part of their natural genetic behavior, and you want to be just super aware. You don't run your dogo over. That's uncool. So just be aware. Hopefully these give you some ideas of ways that you can work out the mind and the body with your Dogo Argentino. Now, as always, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this channel. I do it for you. I am not sponsored by anybody. I am not going to be sponsored by anybody. I do get approached a lot to sponsor things, but it's never things that I feel good about. You know, they're like, hey, push this fancy watch. I'm like, why would I do that on a Dogo Argentino channel? Silly. Or push this type of, toy, and it's a toy that a dogo would destroy in 2 seconds. I'm not about that life. Not about it. Not going to do it. So if you want to help me out, remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. As always, have a dogo-tastic day.